Very warm welcome to WsCube Tech. So guys, in our previous session, we have covered all the functions that were related, all the basic functions basically which were related to Matplotlib. In our today's session, we will be starting with our first plot, that is going to be our bar plot. So bar plot is a very basic, very simple plot that we have been creating since our childhood. Let's have a look on how a bar plot looks like. So basically, this is how a bar plot looks like. That we have different bars and related to the amount over here. That on the left hand side, that means on a y-axis we have the data over here. Based on that data, these bars have been created. For example, this goes up to 40,000 plus. So this one bar over here goes up to 40,000 plus. Over here, this one goes up to 20, 25. This one goes for 32. So this is how a plot can be plotted. A bar plot can be plotted. Now let's have a look on how in Matplotlib a bar can be plotted. To plot a bar plot, first of all, we will import our library, that is import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Once we have imported this, we will also import numpy as np. So import numpy as np. So we can use the functions of numpy as well over here. Once we import both the libraries here, we can create an array or we can create any data here. So I'll be creating a data for x is equals to, you can create a list of elements. So let's say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here, because we want 6 bars over here, so I'll be creating 6 values. On y, we have different values. For example, we have 60, 30, 40, 70, 50, 65. Okay, now if I want to plot a bar plot, for that we will be writing plt dot bar, because we are going to plot a bar plot over here. Inside this we can pass x, y. So this is what will this line over here will plot a bar plot for us with the help of x and y values. So let's run and see. So I'll just click on run, and as soon as we run it, a plot like this will be created over here, where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as our x values. And here on the y we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. That means in an equal interval the y ticks have been created over here. So over here the first plot was of 60, that's why it goes up to 60. The second one goes up to 30, then the 40, then we have 70, then 50, and lastly 65 over here. This is how a bar plot can be plotted. Now you can see there is one line over here on the top. How to remove this line? For that we can write plt.show, open close the parentheses, and this line has been removed from here. Now the plots have been plotted over here, but we don't know what are these plots about. Okay, so what we'll do over here is we can give, like right now I can see, okay, there is a bar plot, there are some values, this one goes up to 60, but what is it about? So we can give x labels over here, y labels over here, and the label to the whole plot as well. For that I'll be writing plt.xlabel, and our x label would be, let's say this whole plot is about Harry Potter, that there are actually 7 parts, but then also the 6th one has, I guess, 2 parts, and the 7th one has 2 parts. I don't know exactly, but yeah. So based on their popularity, I'm just giving their popularity over here. So out of, let's say, 70, I'm giving the popularity, or you can keep it 100, but then it would be a very low popularity. So let's just assume I'm giving popularity out of 100. So the first part was quite popular, so I'll give it 95 or 98. So let's give it 95. Second one was also good, so we'll give 80. Then the third one was not so good, so we'll be giving it as 75. Then fourth one was really good, then again 90. Then fifth one was good as well, so we'll be giving it as 82. Then sixth one was also good, so we'll be giving it as 80. Okay, as soon as we run it, this is how our plot looks like, but we don't know that this is what is it about. So x label is about the parts that are there in our Harry Potter, and plt.y label, y would be about the popularity, so we can pass here popularity. And as soon as we run it, now you can see over here, but below the x-axis we have parts, and next to y-axis we have popularity. Still we don't know what parts and what popularity, so we need to give a title over here. So for that we will be writing plt.title, and in the title we can write parts of Harry Potter and their popularity. Okay, so as soon as I run it, this is how it looks like. Now, okay, we know that this plot is about parts of Harry Potter and their popularity. On x-axis we have parts, and on y-axis we have popularity. Now there are different functions that you can apply to it. Suppose if you want to increase the font size over here, so we can give a parameter called as font size. Font size is equals to, let's say I'll give 15. So now you will notice that the font size over here has increased. If you compare both the font sizes, this one has increased by a bit. And again, we'll give the font size is equals to 15, and here also you can provide with a little bit bigger font size, so we can write font size is equals to, let's say, 17. So as soon as I run it, this is how it looks like. So we have paths, we have popularity, and parts of Harry Potter and their popularity, right? Now if I talk about the bar plot over here, to the bars also we can give different functions. For example, if you want to give a color over here, you can give a color. Suppose if I give color is equals to red, then it will create a red color over here. Similarly, if you want to create different colors over here, in that case what you can do, you can create a variable c is equals to, you can create a list here where we have first one as red, the second one would be of blue color, so I'll be writing blue, the third one would be of green, the fourth one would be of orange, the next one would be of yellow, and the last one would be of pink. And instead of colors is equals to red, we will pass colors is equals to, color is equals to C, and you can see we will get different bars over here of different colors. So because there are 6 parts over here, that's why I have given 6 colors here. If you would have given 2 colors, in that case what it would have done, it would have repeated the 2 colors in this. So I'll just copy this and just red blue, so it will create a sequence of red blue over here. But the previous one looks better, that's why what I'll do, I'll just give all of them different color. So you can provide the different colors as well. Similarly, you can give an edge color to it. So we have another function called as edge color. So we can give an edge color to these. So if you want to give an edge color of, let's say, black, you can give an edge color of black. And we can see over here now the plots have an edge color over here of black color. Now it looks much more better, right? And then we can give alpha. That means if you alpha, what is alpha over here? Alpha is basically the transparency. So if you want to make the bars look a little bit transparent, you can provide with alpha. Alpha over here, it has a range of 0 to 1, where 0 indicates completely invisible, completely transparent, while 1 indicates completely solid here. So if I want to give a value which is in between, that is 0.5, then it will make it half transparent. You can still see the values. If I would have given it as 0, it would have been completely invisible. And if I keep it 1 is the default value over here, which keeps it as completely solid. Similarly, you can pass the legend also over here. For that, we can write plt.legend. Now, what is legend here? Legend is nothing but legend is basically that if you on the bars you have seen on the left hand side, this denotes that okay, this thing denotes this thing denotes that. So we can pass legend also. Legend will be based on the popularity, so we can write legend, and over here the label of the legend would be popularity, so we can write popularity. And as soon as we run it, you can see over here we have got a legend over here where it indicates that this shows over here the popularity of the parts. Okay, so you can create it in this way as well. So guys, this is a basic bar graph. So this is what a vertical bar graph looks like. If you want to create a horizontal bar, in that case what you can do, you can provide with I'll just take these similar values from here. So I'll just copy this data from here and paste it over here, and instead of x here I will put this one as y and this one as x, and here, so once we have got the x and y data, we will be writing plt.barplot because we want to create a bar plot, but we have to create a horizontal bar, so we will be writing bar h, and instead of x and y we will be passing y comma x here. So now as soon as I run it, you can see over here we have got the horizontal bar plot where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the values of y, and over here we have 0, 20, 40, 60 and 80 as the values of x over here. This is how you can get a horizontal bar as well, and we can write plt.show here and we can close the parentheses, and this is how it looks like. Right. Similarly, if you want to show the value over here, that means if on the top over here you want to show the value, that on what value it is, like right now I cannot figure out on what value it is. So for that, what we can do, we can just write over here we'll be creating another thing. So I'll be writing first of all import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Okay, and after that we'll be creating x and y values here. So x is equals to, let's say I'll be taking days over here, so we have like data of anything, let's say a grocery store or a theater or anything, and we can just write day 1 comma day 2 comma here we'll be writing day 3 comma here we'll be having day 4, and on these days we'll be having some data over here. So I'll be writing, let's say 50 comma 30 comma 45, 30. And here what we'll be doing, we'll be writing plt.bar_h, and here I'll be writing x, y. As soon as we run it, this is how we'll get the horizontal bar where we have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and we have the values on x-axis as 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Now as I said, I want to show the values over here. For that, what we'll be doing, we'll be using the method of enumerate. So let's have a look on how it can be done. So we'll be writing based on its index. So for index, comma, and their values over here. So for index, comma, value, now the values exist over here in the y-axis, right? So in enumerate, and here we will be passing the y-axis over here, and what we need to show, we need to show the text here. So plt.text, in the text we will be writing value, comma, index. So values will be there, and in the plt.text what we will be having the value, index, and the values over here will be showed in the format of a string. So in the format of the string, we will be having the values, and as soon as I run it, now you will see that over here the values are also mentioned along with the bar on the top of the bar. So what we have done, basically we have got the values from each index, and we have arranged them on each index in the format of string values here. Okay, so this is how we have got the values over here. So this is how we can put the values over here on the top of the bar. Similarly, if you want to create a plot, just like in the picture in the starting I showed you that there were bars adjacent to each other. If you want to create that kind of plot where we can show data of men and women which is adjacent to each other, in that case what we can do, we can create a plot in this way. Like I can import Matplotlib again .pyplot as plt, and we can import numpy as np. Once we have imported both of them, I'll be giving some data over here. The data will be in the form of a list. So I'll be writing some data here like 30, 50, 15, 40, and over here I'll be having another list which will have data like 30, 25, 35, 30. This is my data. Now for the x-axis, I'll be having a range over here. So np.arange, as we have learned in our numpy, so a range would be up to the 4, and because we are having 4 datas over here, so we'll be taking a range over here, and I'll be giving a figure. Figure is equals to plt, that we have learned in our functions as well, so plt.figure, and we can define the dimensions of the figure as well. So by writing ax is the axis over here, and we have figure dot axis, figure dot add underscore axis, and we will be adding some axes over here. So the dimensions would be 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. Okay, and I'll be creating a bar plot over here. So ax dot bar, where the data x would be the x-axis and the y-axis would be our data. In the data, we will be going to our 0 location. That means in data, the 0 index would be 30, 40, 50 and 60. That means this will be our first data, and our second data would be 30, 25, 35 and 30, right? So data on 0 location will be our y-axis first bar. Okay, data on the 0 index would be our first bar, and the second bar would be the data on our index number 1. Okay, and I'll put comma. We can define the color over here. That color is equals to, let's say it should be red in color. If you want to give a width to it, so you can give a width of 0.3, let's say. Not 0.3 but 0.3, and we can define its label. So label is equals to women. Similarly for men, we will be creating ax dot bar, and x would be the x-axis, data would be the y-axis here, and the y-axis one part, that means this part of the data would be our men's section. The color would be, let's say, blue, and the width would be again 0.3. The label would be men. So label is equals to men, and let me just put this also inside the double quotations, because these are labels, so they should go inside the double quotations. Why we are putting labels? So that we can put the legend as well over here. So we will be writing plt dot legend, open close the parentheses, and plt, lastly plt dot show, open close the parentheses. Let's run and see what output we'll be getting over here. We can see that over here we have received output in this way, that we have, okay, the first value over here, the blue completely overlaps the red one, while over here in the second one there is blue and then there is red as well. Then we have blue and red as well. Then we have blue and red as well. Now what is happening? We wanted bars to be adjacent to each other. To be adjacent to each other, what we will do over here in the second bar should be next to the first bar. So here we will write, because it has a width of 0.3. So we will write x plus 0.3. That means the data should shift by x plus 0.3. Now if I run it, this is how you can see the data has been shifted by 0.3 in position, and we have received the bars which look like this. So these right now are adjacent to each other, and also you can see we have section of here it's showing that the red color bar is for women and the blue color bar is for men here. This is how we can create the bar graphs basically, which are adjacent to each other, and where you can show the data which is like this, that one side is for men and the one side is for women. And in the comparison, you can basically make a comparison over here that okay, if I talk about the day 1 over here, the number of men and women in a store were equal. If I talk about day 3, so comparatively, if I compare all the 4 days, the number of women were more compared to the men over here. So it could be definitely a shopping store where women were more on all the 4 days. Moving ahead, we have more to bar plots. That means right now what we saw like before we kept the data like this, like we had it in this way. In that case, what we have seen over here is that over here inside the one plot only there are both the data, that for men also it is there and for women also it is there. What if we want a plot like this where for men and women we have only one single bar? Okay, so I'll just put it right back over here, and let's create a plot where we have a single bar for men and women, but then it is differentiated by like this, that the half of it is covered by men and the other half of it is covered by the women. So let's create a plot in that way. So again, I'll just copy this from the top. So let's copy it from here and I'll paste it here. After this we'll be creating the data for men and women. So for this I'll be writing women is equals to, let's pass a list over here of let's say 30, 50, 40, 60, 70, 40. Okay. And for men we have let's say 25, 60, 40, 30, 40, 20, and x, because there are 6 data, so x again is equals to np dot arrange, and it goes up to 6 here. Again we'll be taking the same 2 things over here, that means the figure and the axes here, get it from the top, and I'll paste it here. Now if I want to create it for men and women, again I'll be writing plt. So again we want to create it for men and women. The first bar is for the women, so I'll be writing ax dot bar, where x will be there and y would be our women's data, and the color, you can define the color over here. So color is equals to let's say for women we'll keep it pink, and width is equals to 0.3, label is equals to again women. Similarly, we'll be creating ax dot bar, where we'll have x and data of men would be men here. The color would be cyan, and here we have written pink without the double quotation, which will definitely throw us an error. So we'll just keep it as cyan. And width here would be of again 0.3. The label would be men here. Just write plt dot legend, open close the parentheses. Inside these I will be passing women and men, open close the parentheses, and plt dot show, open close the parentheses. If I run it, this is how it looks like right now, which was like equal to our previous one. If you want to give the tick labels over here, you can give the tick labels that we are having a data of 7 days or 6 days. So 6 bars are there, so 6 days data is there. So ax dot set underscore x ticks, because we if you remember we have talked about this function as well. So we want to give x ticks over here, so we'll be giving x ticks as x, and comma here the values, we will be passing the values over here as d1 comma d2 comma d3 comma d4 comma d5 comma d6. Okay. Similarly, if you want to set the value for y ticks over here, so set underscore y ticks, and here I'll take a range, so np dot arrange, and I'll be passing 3 parameters over here, that the starting value would be 0, the ending value would be, so because we have taken the values up to 70, but the addition of them, the addition of highest of them 70 let's take it up to 120. Okay. And here we'll be taking the gap in between. The gap in between of each of them would be of 10. And if I run it now, it looks like this, that we have d1, d2, d3, d4, d5, d6. We have up to 120, 110. over here. Okay, it starts from 0, that's why it's going up to 110. But right, still the bars over here are still like that they are overlapping each other. I don't want them to overlap each other, but I want them to show that this way, that okay, 25, up to 25 we have men's section, up to 30 we have women's section. So it goes up to 25 till here, then plus 30 will be over here for women. Okay, so for that what I'll be doing, I'll be writing over here that bottom is equals to men. Now if I run it, okay, men should not be given inside the double quotation because obviously it's a variable and there should be a comma in between. So now you can see that the bottom's value is of men over here, where men is denoted by the cyan color and the women is denoted by the pink color, and over here 25 till 25 we have men's data, and after that plus 30 would be, that means 55. Total is 55, in which now what we can analyze from here, that total data is up to 55, in which 25 is the men's data and plus 30 is the women's data. Over here up to I guess 110 is the whole data, or 120 is the whole data, in which 60 is the men's data and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 is the women's data. So it goes up to 110 like that, or it was 70 I guess. Yeah, okay, it's 60 and this one is 50 over here. The next data over here is 40 and 40, then 60 and 30. So this is how we have got the data over here, basically in a single bar, that the single bar is the addition of both the datas, and here the bottom value is of men and the upper value is of women. Lastly, if you want to create that kind of plot where the values are on the y-axis, that means positive y-axis and the negative y-axis as well. So let's have a look on how that kind of data can be created. That means how that kind of plot can be created. So lastly, this is the last plot in our bar plot. So import matplotlib.py plot as plt. So basically, I'm covering all the major functions in this session. After this session, we won't be repeating all these kinds of functions. For example, it's the labels, the text, and these kinds of functions we won't be repeating again. That's why the session is quite bigger than the other sessions that we are going to have. Okay, so as we are covering all the basic functions over here, and we will import numpy as np. After this, we'll be creating y is equals to np dot array, and I'll be passing some values over here. Let's say 20, 40, 30, 50, 40, 60. And similarly for x-axis, we'll be giving a range. So x is equal to np dot a range up to 6 here. So as I said, I want to create two types of plot. One goes towards the x-axis, like the positive y-axis, and one goes towards the negative y-axis. For that, I'll be writing plt dot bar plot obviously again, and here we'll be having the x-axis and the y-axis, where we can give color is equals to red. And again we can create plt dot bar, where we have positive x-axis but the y-axis would be negative here. So we'll be writing minus y, and again the comma, and color is equals to, let's say, green here. And I'll write plt dot show. I won't be putting all the other functions over here like the label and all the other things because we have covered them already. This is how this kind of plot can be created, where it has a mirror image on both the sides. So we have the values in positive and negative as well. So we have 20 minus 20, we have 40 minus 40. We have this is somewhere between 20 to 40, that is 30. Then we have 50, and then we have 40 again, and lastly we have 60. So I hope guys that bar plot over here is clear to you. So this was the basics of the bar plot along with all the functions that we have covered. So we have covered all the basic functions as well, which we will be putting in the other plots. For example, the label and putting the legends over here, the x label, x text, y text, and enumerate method. Or if I talk about, if you want to talk about the width of the label, the edge color of the label. So we won't be repeating all of these functions again. That's why we have covered all the different types of plot that can be plotted with the help of bar plot, plus all the basic functions over here have been covered. And I hope you guys have no doubts and no questions. In our next session, we'll be talking about the scatter plot. So stay connected guys, and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.